Hi, everybody. Elijah Wilson with the Oklahoma Weather Authority right now. We have a tornado warning right now for Harper County. And I did not get what time this morning expired. I am very smart. Let me get the time of what time this morning expires here. If no, you can tell me or you can send it to me here. You probably can get it faster than me. 2:45. Okay, so this is 2:45. This morning goes until let me turn this fan off until 2:45. Right now, again, this is a radar indicated tornado. And again, let's take the radar data off and let's the polygon here. And I can clearly tell you the circulation includes May. It does not include Laverne, but it does include Buffalo and points in between May and Buffalo. So you folks within that red square right there, we want you to get into a small room on the lowest floor, near the center, and away from windows. We don't want you to be in a mobile home right now. A mobile home is a death trap. We don't want you traveling up and down the highways or east and west, down the highway here, as this could be a potentially a life-threatening situation. Let's go ahead and let's get the radar data back on, and we'll be able to see the circulation really clearly here. Let's punch the velocity data here again. Big hail could be falling just north of May here. Let's punch the velocity data if we can, Noah. What radar site are you using? Because if not, we can go over the Guardian HD. Yeah, let's just switch over to Guardian HD because this is going to be a little bit more of a clearer picture here, what we're looking at here right now. If you can't, then that's fine. But again, okay, so this is going to be Dodge City. I can clearly tell right that. And that is a very, very mean-looking supercell. Right there, that is a nice-looking supercell. Again, the thing with these supercells today, and no, you're going to kill me for saying this, they're not low-topped at the same time. They're not high-topped. They're right in the middle. They're really right now. They're basically instability storms, and what those are is that basically storms are going up because of the instability is just so strong, and we have such a powerful lift in the atmosphere. These storms are going up, and the shear that they're working with right now is somewhat a shear-driven storm, and we usually don't see shear-driven storms until October, November, December, and so. And that's usually the low top season. So again, this storm is kind of like considered called mid top. But again, right now, you folks in May, if you're in Buffalo, we want you in a safe place right now. Again, that's a small room on the lowest floor, near the center and away from windows. Right now, again, this is a radar indicated tornado. It goes into 245. Again, big hail. Let's put on the hail product here. We can have some pretty. We might have a nice little hail core just to the north of May here. Again, this is a classic supercell in a way. We have all the rain to the north and the middle of the cyclone and spinning back. So again, this is probably going to be an LP supercell, what we call a mid-top low precipitation supercell here. And again, we love these type of supercells because they're not very fast moving, but at the same time they're not very fast. At the same time, they're not really crazy. This is the hail product, or this is the vertically integrated liquid here. It's hard to tell which one's which. This is probably the hail product there. And I would just venture off to say that's probably maybe about $50 approaching golf ball size hail. Okay, that's hail product. Okay, so I'll venture off to say, okay, tennis ball size hail. So this is tennis ball size, almost baseball size hail. So again, this is a very large hail. And the computer. Let's put on the radar data here. Let's put back on the radar data. In a way, I have a feeling the radar might be trying to overdo it. Let's zoom out. Let's zoom out here, Noah. Let's zoom out here. And again, I do have a feeling the radar might be trying to overdo it here. And Noah, if you're available to talk, which I know you're wrestling with children right now, if you're available to talk here, I know you're probably one of the people that are going to kill me for saying this storm is low top. But what are your thoughts? It's not low topped. At the same time, it's not high topped. It's what we call mid top. What are your thoughts?
Well, I mean, I think the one thing I think you're right about them being mid top, because if they were high topped, these probably would be able to take full advantage of all the shear in the atmosphere right now and become very severe, which they haven't done yet. Let's switch to normalized rotation isn't showing a lot of a lot of anything right now. Yeah, it's just a whole bunch of noise. And we are using a different radar site because one of the closest Doppler radar is actually down right now. So we're using one a little bit further away. So we're not going to get a super clear velocity signature, but we're also not going to get a really clear signature for anything. This is vertically integrated liquid, and there's some pretty large hail in here. We'll just have to see how this storm ends up intensifying, and whether or not it freezes a tornado.
Yeah, exactly. And in the hail right now, you said it was like depicting like tennis ball size hail, and that could actually be right. Almost tennis balls. Tennis balls going to baseballs. That sounds pretty accurate to me. But again, you can also have an inflow notch, and again, these things I call them shear-driven storms, because really the shear is what's driving these storms. And again, when you get a type of look that looks like this, this storm looks very, very reminiscent to a storm that I remember very clearly. It was the Holly Springs Asheville tornado back in December of 2015, on December 23rd. And this storm looks just like it. I'm not saying it's an EF3 tornado that's about to kill 7 people. I'm just saying the way it looks right now is that's sort of the look here. And again, the circulation here, we might have 2 independent circulations here. Noah, are they warning for the southern end or the northern end? Because it looks like that northern end right there where all the velocities are sort of there. It looks like that might be the area that we got to watch.
They're calling this May. I mean, they're calling just north of May. So probably in the area, probably in this area right in here is probably where they're thinking. They probably also have. I mean, the thing about right now is since we are using the Dodge City radar site, we are looking pretty far away. I think this is actually about 60 or 70 miles away. So this is measuring from a pretty far distance. So we'll have to see how this storm actually intensifies, because if there's any certain trend that storms start to make, we'll know that it actually is the storm itself and not just the radar having issues.
Yeah, exactly. And again, like I said, when we say shear driven, that doesn't mean the tornado threat it can be maximized. It just means the storms are interacting with that they're working with that mid-level shear, low to mid-level shear, and that's how these storms are getting. How these storms are moving is because these things are, we're not calling it low topped, but at the same time, they're not really especially high. So, in a way, I guess we are considering it low topped a little bit here. But again, this out of Buffalo here. That's going to be another area that I want to focus on too, because there's a little bit, and Noah, this might be what could be a case of. That's the old mesocyclone. Now the new mesocyclone is spinning up on the back side, so that might be where the new area of circulation is about to develop, just slightly north of May here. But you folks, it doesn't matter if you're in May. In fact, there might be a third one trying to develop on that southwest side of May here. So we might have 3, possibly. No, we have 2 confirmed. I can clearly tell you 2 right now. But we possibly may have 2.5 to approaching 3 circulations right now, trying to develop off of this one storm. And another thing we're going to run into today, folks, is that these storms again are not the shear is starting to increase. Let's see, it's 2:34. I think the shear should be maximized between now and the rest of the evening, between around 3 to 4 or 5 o'clock, between then and now until the end of the day, around 12 o'clock in the morning. I think that's when the shear is going to be maximized. And I think the peak timing for supercellular tornadoes. We're talking about strong supercells that are capable of producing tornadoes, possibly a few strong tornadoes. Well, and long track tornadoes will be between, we're considering the time frame between 4:30 and 9. That's what I think the peak timing for long track violent tornadoes are going to be. But right now, we're just dealing with garden variety thunderstorms, and they're and like I said, we're gonna call them low top. The big storms develop around 4 or 5 o'clock, and they will move into Oklahoma City here. But again, and no, I'm gonna hurt myself for keep saying this so much. This storm again, the more I think about it, you can't get the Echo Top because we're 60-some miles away from it. And right now, again, you folks that live in Buffalo, we want you in your safe spot right now. May, it's going to be slightly to your north here. Just slightly to your north here. But again, This is the Echo Top Center. You can query some of that here. We'll see what type of how tall this storm is from a vantage point here. 51 knots. So yeah, this is a mid top storm. This is probably a mid top supercell. Yeah, most I'm going to see is probably at 40 approaching 30. So this is probably going to be a low top, mid top supercell type deal here. But right now, again, you folks that live in May, if you live in Buffalo, and at any points in between, we want you to remain sheltered right now. Again, the potential for a tornado is still there at this current time.
One thing to point out real quick, I know people are always worried about just the strictly tornado damage. This is the gust potential parameter, or not parameter, but the gust potential. I don't know what you would call it in the radar system. And it's showing that there probably is about 60 or 70 mile an hour wind gusts on the back side of where this circulation could be. So even if go ahead.
No, check on that backside where that RFD was. See that info notch? Check that RFD there. Could be, I think we might have a feeling there could be some. This storm might be doing NOAA. It might be trying to become outflow dominant. It might be trying to do that. I just have a funny feeling this is what this storm is trying to do, which means we could have some very, very strong winds coming out of this thing. But yeah, check that wind gust potential thing on that back side, right there where that inflow notch is. I feel like we're going to be seeing a 65 mile per hour. This is potential. Not currently accurate. It's semi-accurate, but it's not exact. 70 miles per hour. Check them around May. Go down there and query some of that data around May. Here, that might be.
No, where's your hand?
50. Let me see here. No, if you want to mute your mic, you can. 50. Let's see. We had 50. So again, this might be a decent. That's decent wind. I feel like that could be produced out of this storm. So let's check over the reflectivity here. Right now, again, let me break down again. We do continue with a tornado warning until 2:45, and right now, again, there's secondary circulation is gonna be near May. I feel like, but again, right now that's your tornado warning box. And again, we do want to tell you right now, it does not include Laverne. And we got a blank. Oh, okay, we showed the polygon. Here, it does not include Laverne, but it does include Buffalo, and it does include May. I get the two county seats mixed up here. And again, you know what? I feel like the biggest potential for a tornado is literally going to be sitting just south of Buffalo. If that's where, I just feel like that's where the biggest potential is going to be for if there's going to be a tornado.
Yeah, I think something that this storm may be trying to do. I don't know if this was the latest scan that just came through. We may get ready to have that was the latest scan. I think, like you said, we may have two areas trying to develop. It looks like what may be happening, and I don't know if this is strictly happening because of the site we're using, since we are using Dodge City. This is looking at the storms from kind of a weird angle. If I can, let's see, I wonder if we can switch to, maybe not, definitely, yeah, we're not going to be able to switch to that yet. But I think, like you said, the highest tornado threat right now, the most important information you need to know right now is, number one, there's not a tornado reported yet, so there's no tornado on the ground doing damage as of now. There's just rotation that's indicative of a possible tornado that could form at any time. If we go back, I want to go back over to the vertically integrated liquid. This just shows you how dense some of the hail core is, parts of the hail core are in the storm. You see this area south of Buffalo. That's where the largest hail is going to be. If you live south of Buffalo, go ahead.
No, I wasn't saying anything.
I was getting ready to say, if you live south of Buffalo, you're probably going to have big hail. if there's anything in the velocities, it's probably going to be, and I think the sweep is about to come around in just a second. Let's wait and see. And they haven't really done very much of anything. I mean, I know the past couple of scans. If we go back, if we can animate through this and see this, not much has really changed. I mean, it looks like what it looks like is trying to happen is the storm hook kind of fell in on itself, and now it's trying to get reorganized to that or form into a line. Elijah, what's your thoughts?
Yeah, we checked the veer back. What is it called? The veer back veer, or is it big veer back?
Veer back veers aren't an effect. Veer back veer wind profiles are what causes storms to become linear, I believe. And I think today we have just the veer back, which basically creates a 180-degree shift between the wind direction at different altitudes. So today, that's why the tornado threat is as high as it is today, is because we don't have that veer back veer wind profile. We actually have the ingredients there to actually create supercells that will produce tornadoes later this afternoon.
And another thing I think might be trying to happen is that this storm is becoming more elongated. And the thing I've noticed is that this storm went from being, mid-top, high-top, now to, it looks like a classic December supercell. That's what it really looks like to me. And, and it doesn't look like it's especially big. This storm the storm has lost a lot of its structure. Honestly, if it's trying to hook again, it's going to be hooking on the back side here. But again, like I said, a lot of the parameters today are there for what could be a really active day later on today. And we think the peak of this event is going to start around 4, and it's not going to end until probably around 8 or 9. So it's going to be several hours of where we're going to be probably on the air for quite a while today, working storms. And again, this is just the garden variety storms. But again, I think what's going to happen is, Noah, that these storms are going to taking a lot of the energy from northwestern Oklahoma today. And what's going to happen is when we get these new storms to develop, the big storms, if the atmosphere doesn't recover in time, these storms that form out there in the Texas Panhandle, they're going to have to struggle to move in Oklahoma here until they get to like central Oklahoma, and then they can really explode. That's what I feel like is trying to happen right now. If you're going to say something, you can.
No, I just unmuted that just in case you were going to toss it over. Go ahead.
Okay, but yeah, it's just that's what I feel like is about to happen, is that these storms these storms are not really moving especially fast. They're moving, I think the max storm I think is moving today is 20 miles per hour in our state. And again, the reason for that is the low-level jet isn't here yet. The low-level jet is just now beginning to come in. And another thing that's starting to happen is that the 500 millibar jet, you know what that is. It's just now starting to. It's just it doesn't really kick in until late.
Yeah, I think you're right. We can zoom out. I do want to take just a broad view real quick, just to show the extent of what is going on today. There's fairly high confidence today that there is going to be not massive as in record breaking, but there is probably going to be a significant tornado outbreak across the midsection of the United States. As you can see, these watches cover a large part of the central United States. You got watches all the way through Kansas, throughout the entire state. You've got some in west and eastern Colorado. You've got our watch that covers our part of the state, and you have some in southeast Nebraska, southwest Iowa, and northwest Missouri. It's expected to get pretty bad today, and there's already storms blowing up all across the Central Plains. There's even a couple of reported tornadoes on the ground over in south. I think this may be. I know, like we were talking about yesterday, this isn't in our viewing area, but I know a lot of people have family in some of these places, and there is. I need to figure out which warning it is, and maybe this one. But there have been a couple of confirmed tornadoes on the ground going on in Kansas right now. So very scary situation. I mean, right now it's pretty calm. Right now nothing really is happening. We just have to wait till the late evening and see how some of the now factors evolve throughout the evening, and see how these affect what goes on this afternoon. I think. Well, let's see. I think that was the latest tweet.
And they let that tornado warning expire.
Okay, they did.
Yeah.
Okay. Well.
But drop south in Woodward County right quick. Let's drop south here right quick. Yeah, that storm right there near south there, Woodward. That's gonna be something else to watch here. Let's punch some velocities on it. I know it's gonna be probably a wild ride to see here, but that's a low top supercell. You know, and it's not. There's not especially very strong rotation with it. And again, these storms are struggling to because the shear isn't there yet. The shear probably won't get here for about another 2 hours or so. And so we don't think the big peak of this event won't come in here until probably around 3 or 4 o'clock. So again, you haven't got your safety kit planned out, cough me. Now is probably the time where you want to start getting your safety kit ready. Now is the time you might want to start thinking about what am I going to do in case we do have a tornado. And for you folks out in Western Oklahoma, I would be thinking this: what am I going to do in case of a stronger tornado? Not just one that lasts for 30 seconds, but one that lasts for maybe 30 minutes or longer. That's what type of kit I would be planning on, because today the atmosphere is primed for explosive development later today, which we already have right now. But of the big giant supercells, the atmosphere is primed today. And when we say the atmosphere is primed, that is never a good thing to say, because usually when the atmosphere is primed, that means let's take what happened on April 27th, for example. I'm not saying this is going to be just like April 27th. This is nothing close to it. This is more of a April 12th, April 14th, 2012 setup that we have today. In fact, every little bit of it looks just like April 14th, 2012 to me. That was the day that Woodward, Oklahoma got hit. It was actually April 15th. It got hit at 12:30 in the morning. Killed 6 people. It was an EF3 tornado. And like I said, folks, it doesn't really matter. Today, if I lived in northwestern Oklahoma, western Oklahoma, all the way toward Watauga, Helena, Fairview, Keene, Byron, I would really be wanting to consider thinking about what am I going to do in case of having a significant tornado today. Because the shear that we're going to have coming in today and the moisture that's already available to us and the energy, it's going to make these cloud bases really, really low. And it's going to be, and these storms will be rain wrapped. It's going to be really, really hard to see these tornadoes coming today. And especially once they get east of I-35, then it becomes an utter, complete hellhole. Basically, it's hard to see these things when they are on the ground. We have trees, we have mountains, we have forests, we have dips, we have everything you could think of in east of I-35. And if these storms can hold together and make it that far after 6 o'clock, then we're going to have some major issues, Oklahoma City. So if I lived in western Oklahoma, northwestern Oklahoma, start looking for the big time supercells to develop in about an hour and a half. Okay, it's 2:49. Start looking for supercells to develop at about 4:25. I expect storms to be pretty supposed to develop at about 4:25. And then we're going to be there from there. And, depending on how fast these storms are moving, if they move east fairly quickly, they move east, northeast fairly quickly, or due east, or whichever way they move, we're going to have some issues. But if they continue on this northeast, if they continue to be moving slow like slugs, then we're in Oklahoma City. We might be spared here. But again, it's going to be a rough day for folks in Kansas and Nebraska and eastern Colorado. I have family in Colorado Springs, and they're under this tornado watch. And hopefully nothing major goes on. And hopefully I hope and pray what happens is this right here will kill off their severe weather setup, because they've had every day this week just about they've had rough severe weather. Past 2 days they've had long track violent tornadoes. And here in Oklahoma, like I said, the atmosphere, if you're in this tornado watch right now, if you're considering a tornado watch literally right now, we prepare for a busy evening of severe weather. And like I said, prepare for, don't prepare for like, oh, this could be a tornado, be just, it may or may not be there. Prepare for a tornado that will be there, and it could be strong. We're talking about, EF2 or higher. prepare for that type of tornado today, because clearly the atmosphere, the shear is there. The shear will be there. The atmosphere, the energy will be there. Every ingredient for severe weather is here today. And, you know, we're talking about, you know, EF2 tornadoes and higher. We're not talking about a massive tornado outbreak, but a localized tornado outbreak is pretty likely today. And so we want you folks to be weather aware, stay updated with the Facebook page, you know, with our live streams, if you know, and whatever you need to do, you know, we want you to be ready for today. We're going to, if you want to, we can stay on for maybe about 5 more minutes here. But relatively, I want to get ready to sign off here because we're going to be dealing with a long day today, no matter what. So if you're ready to take my camera shot, then hey. Here, but again, like I said, this could be a very active day of severe weather approaching us. You know, it could be a very, very, very busy day, and you know, things we're talking about today is kind of scary, and we haven't seen things like this since, you know, the watch tech said 60% chance for F2 or higher tornadoes. That's scary business. We haven't seen things like that since May of 2013 here. Is that the model data? If you had, I have to check the model data. I was about to say we can take that and show folks what's going on here. Okay, if that's model data, let's take that. And again, this is clearly what we're talking about, folks. And you know, the HRRR, it's a relatively useful model for us. Is there some days that it gets things wrong? Yes, like yesterday. Yesterday, I was expecting 3 or 4 supercells. We only ended up with one main one. But again, tomorrow could be a very the day could be a very serious day. It's not taken light. You cannot take this stuff lightly today, folks. If you're in a tornado warning, I want you to consider that tornado on the ground. Okay, it's that type of day today. Where, you know, if we ended up with 4 or 5 tornado warnings at once, I want you to consider it as if it was on the ground doing damage, as it was an EF4 tornado. Not saying that every tornado day is going to be an EF4. I'm just telling you right now that the potential for an EF4, for, you know, EF2 or higher tornadoes is there today, and we want you to take those. We want you to be sure you have your tornado safe spot. We're looking at the model data. Let's look at this, and this is what we're talking about, folks. That's exactly what we're talking about. There's a line of supercells that's moving right into western Oklahoma, and you know, if you're gonna key on this, Noah, yeah, go ahead.
I did want to point out something just real quick, because I know people that are probably looking at this are probably thinking that this makes no sense whatsoever. But basically, what we're looking at is this is basically a future radar depiction. So this is an example of what the radar could look like this evening and this afternoon. It's not for sure what this will do, but what this could do. So looking at this is hinting that we could have some stronger, just a line of severe storms develop. This is by 20Z, which is, I think, the next hour or two. And like Elijah said, you have these storms erupting across western Oklahoma. This is going to probably intensify as, you know, I know the one big thing we were looking at today in comparison to yesterday, and how yesterday didn't fare so well with our predictions, was yesterday we didn't have a forcing mechanism, basically. So whenever you don't have a forcing mechanism, you basically have extreme buoyancy or extreme lift by the moisture, but you don't have lift from a system. So yesterday we just had a whole bunch of moisture available, a whole lot of heat, a whole lot of moisture available, but we didn't have a storm system. We didn't have a storm system to cause the moisture to actually lift and create thunderstorms. But today we do have that spark of energy to make these storms very, very large and severe. And here's the newest update to the model, so showing the newest hour available, and it shows you these storms start to continue as they make their way west. It's not for sure if this is going to happen, but this is just an idea of what could happen. We just want all of you to be weather aware. That's all we want. We want you to know that today is not going to be a catastrophic outbreak with millions of dollars in damages and multiple violent tornadoes on the ground. It doesn't look like that, but the potential is there to have a few stronger tornadoes along with a very, very, very large hail. That's going to be one of the biggest threats. I know we were looking at some of the data this morning, and some of it is just unbelievable that we're expecting this much in the way of severe weather. I do want to switch this back over to, actually, no, I'll switch through this. So I'll switch through this. And I do want to check on these storms again real quick. I know the tornado warning is canceled. The storm looks like it's actually going to be trying to weaken. I don't know if that's the capping inversion sort of holding them down a little bit, but a lot of the storms out here look like they have tried to weaken a little bit. That may be good news.
And what that could be, Noah, is that these storms, or what it's doing, is that the cap is coming back more a little bit. What's going to happen is, you know how you were just showing the model data? What I feel like is going to happen is the cap is coming back right now. And that cap is getting a little bit stronger, and that's going to kill these storms right temporarily. But as we get warmer, it's only 2:57. This is not even our daytime peak. Daytime heating peak is at 4 o'clock, if I'm not mistaken. And that's when that model was showing all of those storms erupting violently. So I think what's happening is the capping inversion is coming back for a little bit. But as we get warmer today, that capping inversion, these storms, these cumulus clouds, are going to penetrate that capping inversion. And that cap is going to be back. So I feel like that's what's going to happen. And Noah, if you have any last things you want to say here.
If I can get this, I'm trying to switch radar systems here real quick because I do want to show the viewers a closer view. If I can get, okay, here we go. We may be able to this. If I can get on that, like, yeah, we temporarily lost that one, so we're going to have to. Oh man, isn't it great when you have technical difficulties?
Huh?
So isn't it great when you have technical difficulties?
Oh yes, it's a miracle. I just love them so much, you know.
Okay, here we go. I think we might be back. Okay, yeah, here we go. Let's switch back over now. And there we go. Now, if we can input the model, I think we actually can put the model data. Oh, well, now we lost it. Well, it was good. It was nice while it lasted. The point is, we could have significant severe weather this afternoon. We'll just have to see how all this turns out. And if anything else happens, we'll be sure to let you know and keep you alert if anything does threaten to develop in the metro area or anywhere out in the state.